Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Here in the Rogues Guild once more because peasants by day, ninjas by night. We want to learn what it means to become a ninja. Desiree, keeping your stabbers sharpened, I hope, because I've got a job to be done, and I reckon with Dimber Dember what put the executioners on the chopping block is just one to do the doing. My men have sighted some shifty types around Wineport late. Not code-breaking curses as far as I know. And that's the rub. We don't know half as much about them as I'd like. They claim to be simple peasants, refugees from some far-flung realm, but I don't know many peasants would skulk about in the Darklands as much as they've been doing. So long as they're not breaking the code, they can do as they please. But being who they are, it falls to us to look into the matter and make sure that all's bob. As my gut tells me, this may be a two-rogue job, as an underfoot on a head. So pull on your best beta cases, head to Wineport and meet him there. Hey, Underfoot, how does it go? Desiree, when Jacke said he'd be sending one of the guild's canniest mods along after me, I had a feeling it might be you. Now, I'd love to tell you all Underfoot already willed this whole scrap on our friends, but to this I've turned up more questions than answers. They claim to hear from the South Sea Isles, but me little birds at Melvan's gates swear to the last man that that's some poor piss mummery. There's no record of any ship sailing into port. Look like it falls to you and me to take a closer snitch, eh? I hope you brought your sharpest stabbers, as there's no telling who we are. Did you hear that, lass? You all Underfoot got gone daft, or some more just screamed out for dear life. Something tells me our little task is about to take a turn for the interesting. What say we go see what's what? Ma'am? Have mercy, I'm but a simple milkmaid with no single guild to my name. Rest easy, lass. My friend and I don't mean you no harm, though I must say you've got me curious. Just what in the name of a 12 happened here? I had just come to town to purchase some supplies. No sooner had I walked through the gates, when I was suddenly accosted by 3 burly drunkards who demanded I hand over all my possessions. To my good fortune, it seemed the men had partaken a bit too heavily. When they saw the meager content of my corn purse, they began to squabble among themselves. A fistfight ensued, and before I knew it, the 3 men were lying on the ground as you see them now. Sounds like Nehemiah smiled upon you today, lass. For I might suggest you be a bit more careful on your next visit. All manner of scurvy sorts frequent these parts, and you find that not all of them are blundering lackwits like your friends here. Thank you for your concern, good sir, and rest assured that I will take your words to heart. Good day to the both of you. Well, Desiree, how did the girl strike you? Mummery, I say. You too? I was thinking the very same. Squabbling among themselves? Just look, there's barely a scratch on any of these louts. I'd wager there's more to the rum doxy when she's letting on. Come, let's go on the drag and see what she might be hiding. A bat? Which I don't mean she is hiding a bat. I mean, there was a bat. And the right mess we've got here. You reckon this curse got on the wrong side of our lass? One thing's for sure, there are no more peasants than you and I. One look at those stabbers tells me as much. I've failed. I beg of you. Take this and return it to Master Oboro. To Lady Tsubame. Too late. The poor sword's dead. As for this stone, your guess is as good as mine. Lucky charm of sorts, mayhap? Anyway, we best start moving our dear beaters before our last gets away. A footprints lead in the direction of Upper Lonosia. Okay, come. Targeting. Stupid Mamuja. Stop being annoying. She hides behind a tree as if I could hide her from me. She didn't really think she could fool me with her silly wax, did she? Or did she? Perhaps she's not as clever as we believed. And the mysterious saber rushes to the damsel's defense. Such bravery, such compassion. Such folly. Little does she know that the girl is more than capable of taking care of herself. And right on cue, Oboro the Dim leaps onto the scene to save his dear little swallow in the most unsurprising surprise attack the realm has ever seen. Cease your ramblings, Karasu, before I rip that tongue from your bloody beak. Yow, our hero is wounded, a stab through the heart. His childhood friends stand before him, blades drawn and hate in their eyes. Over tragedy of it all, the audience sobs. And what's this? A couple of big players who have forgotten to leave the stage? Did no one tell them their partner play is long since over? Oh, and the faceless rogue shows surprising skill. Perhaps she yet has a role to play. I will say this much, unlike a certain someone, at least you intrigue me. But other matters demand our hero's attention, and so the first act must work to a close. Come, my pet. Wait, Karasu! Ever quick to retreat, that one. The two from Wineport? Did you follow me here? Beg pardons, miss. My friend and I here on behalf of his dutiful sisters. And you, sister, have some questions to answer. Sorry. Oh, come on. I've lived on the underbelly of society long enough to recognize when a man's more than he seems. So make this easy on us, lass. Just who exactly are you? And what are you doing here? And here's hoping for both your sakes that it doesn't involve breaking our code. So you're the rogues of whom I've heard so much. Forgive me, you were remiss in not seeking you out sooner. Very well, you shall know all there is to know. My name is Oboro and she is Tsubame. We hail from a village in Doma, several thousand miles across the sea. We are, but perhaps you have no word for what we are. In our tongue, one might call us shinobi. Doma? The Imperial Province? The same, though it did not have to be so. Our countrymen fought with honor against the might of Garlemald. What we lacked in number, we made up for with martial prowess. It was a battle we could have won, had we not been betrayed by one of our own. Our every secret, our every move known to our foe. The tide of battle turned on the morrow. Thousands of our countrymen were slaughtered, and at day's end, Doman remained under the Imperial yoke. The traitorous Kerr joined the Imperial ranks as chief of the covert operatives, or so they say. That is the man you just met, Karasu, though I am loath to call him a man. To this day he whispers in the ears of the Garleans, making a mockery of those who once called him friend and brother. But no longer. We have come to Eorzea, at our village elder's behest, to see that Karasu pays for his crimes with his life. Come to Miller treacherous rook who blew the gap on his comrades. You sound like a rat, Benekov. Consider old Underfoot impressed. Forgive me, this land and its tongue are still new to us. Nonetheless, we were able to lure Karasu here, and more than a few of our comrades gave their lives in the effort. And now this. Was the sacrifice for naught? I was asked to return this. Ah, you have my gratitude. When one of our kind falls, tradition dictates that we return their soul to the village, that it may rest with our ancestors. What? Our fallen brother's soul calls out to this woman? Could it be a sign? Are we fated to fight as one? I would make you an offer. We will instruct you in our art, the art of ninjutsu. In return, you will share with us your knowledge of this land, but it might serve us in our mission. But Abo, she's not Doman. She's not of a village. Look around you, Tsuzabame. Our brothers and sisters are fallen or gravely wounded, and today's failure makes it all too clear. We cannot hope to stand against Karasu without knowing the lay of the land. Can't say I'm thrilled at the prospect of losing a dimmer like yourself, but hells, in my younger days I've been keen to try my thumbs at some of those techniques myself. And the more you battles cake in, the more these two strike me as a banner and banner folk. If you're keen to land on your dabbles, I'll not be the one to stand in your way. If you know more, come to the dock storehouse at Wenkechagali. We shall await you there. Who the figure, eh? Anyway, your choice is yours. In the meantime, I'm going to head back to Limsa and report to Jacke before he comes and gives me a good old cloud on the knob. Here in Wenkechagali at the docks, they are waiting for us. And so we meet again. Am I to take your presence to mean that you have chosen to accept our offer? Yes? Thank you. I speak not only for myself and Tsubame, but for our entire village when I say that you have our profound gratitude. What I would tell you next, I would tell you out of earshot of strangers. Byakubu has been instructed to let only trusted visitors through the doors behind me. When he speaks to you, Ayame, you are to answer Kaede. You need not know what the words mean, only that they will grant you entry. Ayame. Kaede. Welcome, Desiree. You stand within the provisional base of operations my people have established in your land of Eorzea. It may not look like much, either without or within, but that is precisely the point. We find it an ideal vantage point from which to observe the comings and goings of Karasu and his men, without attracting undue attention to ourselves. My fallen brother saw you as a worthy inheritor of his soul. To honor his memory, I entrusted to you. But soul alone will not make you a shinobi. No. This will require training of a body and mind. Our art, the art of ninjutsu, originated with our ancestors many years ago. Since then it has been passed down with each generation, mother to daughter, father to son. We draw power from the world around us, the heaven, the earth and the hearts of man, and channel this power into physical form. I'm told that this is similar to your concept of Aether, was it? I must confess that Eorzean's words and ways remain unfamiliar to me. How does one channel this power, you ask? Through the use of mudra, hand gestures that draw forth each of the 3 forms of energy of which I spoke. The first mudra I will teach you will call power from the heavens. In Doman, we call this Ten. You're eager to learn, yes? Attune your soul to that of my fallen brother, then approach me once more. It is then that your training will begin. Ninja unlocked. The soul of a shinobi awakens within you. Yes, I can sense it. Though you are not of our blood, the soul of my people is strong in you. You are one of us now, a shinobi. And yet our training has only begun. Heed my words well, Desiree. For the shinobi, blade and mind are one. The weak mind gives rise to a weak blade. The false mind gives rise to a false blade. But the mind that is strong and true, that blade will know no equal. Such were the teachings of my master, his master and his master's master before him. The shinobi must keep presence of mind at all times, or his blade may as well be one of grass. That is the lesson of the mind. Now we shall begin the lesson of the body. You will recall that the art of ninjutsu involves using hand gestures called mudra to summon the energies of heaven, earth and man, Ten, Chi and Jin in the Doman tongue. Myriad techniques can be unleashed depending on the mudra you combine, and the order in which you do so, but perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself. A child must learn to walk before he can run. To begin, I would see you master your first mudra. 10. The mudra of heaven. Summon the energy of heaven and project it forth, and from your hand will fly a flaming star, or Fuma Shuriken. Outside of the stores, you will find a Mokujin, a wooden man of a sort traditionally used in Doman for training. Do as I have told you and strike it with a Fuma Shuriken. I will observe your technique from a distance. Yes, that will do, Desiree. Clearly, we did not misjudge your potential. Perhaps you have also felt your body become lighter. This is but another benefit of your training. You might find yourself able to dance through the air with your blades drawn. But be mindful, a true shinobi sees that no movement is wasted. You demonstrated your skills well against the wooden man, but wood does not strike back. Your next opponent will not be so docile. Prepare yourself. No, I struggled here, I remember that. The Onabi will attack in waves, Use your Fuma shuriken to dispatch them from a safe distance. Of course, stupid that I don't have infinite Fuma shuriken, but they have a recharge time. I shall summon a great beast for your next challenge. Remember, you must maintain presence of mind, no matter how fearsome the foe. This one. For your final challenge, I shall be your opponent. Let us see how well you have learned. I guess there is my experience from having played Ninja before here. Because I remember this being a lot harder than it was. Your aptitude for our art is nothing short of astounding. The soul of our ancestors chose wisely indeed. I see. What Oboro means to say is that he's not seen anyone master the fundamentals of ninjutsu with such swiftness. Is that not so, Oboro? I'm capable of speaking for myself, Tsubame, but it is true, Desiree has exceeded even my own expectations. Her blade slices through the air as a fish glides through water. But that is enough training for the day. Now it is my turn to be the student and you the teacher. I would learn the ways of Eorzea. You will instruct me, yes? You have my gratitude, Desiree. Nope, not like that. First, I would better know the terrain of Lano... Something amusing? This is how you bow in the West. My bow, I see. Who would have thought a simple gesture of courtesy would be so complicated? Like this, is it? Forgive him. Oboro has not been quite himself since coming to these shores. It would seem that neither the food nor the climate agrees with him. And let us not forget the stink of these infernal horsebirds. All the more reason for us to complete our mission swiftly and return to more hospitable environs. Anyhow, Desiree, that should suffice for the day. Practice well your ninjutsu and return when you are ready for your next lesson. It would seem you have some practicing to do as well. Huh? Okay, let's just do the 35 quest now. Desiree, why, I did not even hear your footsteps as you approached. You are becoming more and more of a shinobi with each day. Oboro has been awaiting your return. Please enter. Desiree, it's clear from the manner in which you carry yourself that you have been most diligent in your training. But you're not the only one who has mastered the technique imparted to you. Behold my Eosian bow, perfect in balance and form. Now it is time for your next lesson. Watch carefully my hands. With this mudra, the shinobi call forth the energies of the earth, chi in our tongue. Etch its form into your mind, and I shall show you how to employ it in battle. Now, if I could just remember how I had arranged it with Serenia, the 3 mudra, because I want to keep it the same way, otherwise I get confused. Chi, or Earth, marks the second mudra that you've learned. With this, you are ready to begin the next phase of your training. It is through the combination of mudra that you find new techniques. The first technique I would impart to you is Raiton, lightning release. When heaven joins with earth, lightning will flash and thunder will roll. In other words, from the mudra 10 followed by chi. Channel that energy forward and bolts of lightning will surge from your hands to strike your foe. As this is a more formidable technique than Fuma Shuriken you have wielded thus far, I have taken care to reinforce the Mokujin outside the storehouse. Strike it with Raiton and I shall observe. Yeah, from here on you basically have rarely a reason to use a Fuma Shuriken when you can use a Raiton. It's down here somewhere. Fuma Shuriken is a 500 potency and Raiton is 800. Very well. Now recall what I said during our first lesson. The techniques at your disposal are created not merely by which mudra you form, but also the order in which you combine them. When earth joins the heaven, the skies will rain fire and ash. In other words, form the mudra chi followed by 10 and channel those energies forward, and searing hellfire will engulf your foes. But be forewarned, these techniques require considerable exertion of your spirit. After performing one, you will observe that some time is required before your mind settles and you are able to wield another. Now demonstrate Katon for me on the Mokujin over there. Yeah, they changed it by now a little bit to give you 2 charges. And you see, I've seen Katon as an area attack. Splendid, your grasp on fundamental mudra combinations is firm, but knowing the how of a technique is only the beginning. You must also understand when to employ it. Chunin is our word for a shinobi who has attained full mastery of 2 mudra techniques. In our tradition, when a student is deemed by his master to show such potential, she is led to a waterfall outside the village to conduct intense training. I cannot take you to Doman, of course, but my maps tell me of a place in Upper Lanasir that should suffice. Fool Falls, the name is less than auspicious, but it will have to do. Meet me there, and we shall proceed. Okay, Fool Falls is Upper Lanasir, over the lake and over there. Until today I knew this place only as letters on a map. Gazing upon it with my own eyes, it is even more beautiful and powerful than I could have imagined. Yes, this will serve us well. My people do not worship your deities 12. Our gods are all around us, in the trees, in the soil, in the crashing waters before you. Close your eyes and open your heart to the sound of the washing falls, that you might purge your mind of all worldly thoughts and distractions. The techniques you have learned will serve you well in battle, but confuse the order of your mudra and you can just as easily turn victory into defeat. It is imperative that you keep a single focus of mind. So it is that masters have brought their students to forests like this one for training since my ancestors' times. Who's the more foolish? The fool of Fool's Falls, or the fool who comes here without realizing he's been followed? Karasu. Now, here's a curious scene. The dim one is accompanied today not by a swallow, but by a chirping horsebird chick who fancies herself a shinobi. The dim one is displeased. This after our hero postponed 2 assassinations to make this little journey. Could his friend not greet him with a smile and some crumpets? Or whatever it is the Aussians take with their tea? The dim one ponders. How did our hero know to find him here? If the answer is plain as day. The dim one is a creature of habit and tradition. Where else would he bring his prized new pupil? Tradition. Our hero spits on tired tradition. No, for he's a shinobi of a different feather. Ever changing, never predictable, but always, always in style. Those who cling too closely to tradition are bound to suffer the fate of their forebears, or the lessons of a past so soon forgotten. Ready yourself, Desiree. It appears that your training today will be of a more practical sort. But of course, all you had to do was ask nicely. It would be my pleasure to be your teacher for the day. Your first lesson, little chick. Whitehorn's lightning will strike a single foe, but Katon's flames will raise many. Wield them wisely, or don't. It's only your life at stake. Oh, how generous is our hero, putting aside his killings and spyings to play mother hen to the horsebird chick. You will try to keep me entertained, won't you? The lesson begins. You will try to make this fun for me, eh? I was there, but now I'm here. Can you not see me? Must I be so slow? Our hero tires of his dull dance. You're going to kill me? Could you be a bit quicker about it? Alas, I fear your teacher has better places to be. But worry not. My pawns will continue the lesson. Do not let the numbers daunt you. Keep your focus and your katon will blaze a path to victory. Imperial Shinobi. Whoa. Shadow. This one is strong. Keep your focus and your right hand will strike him down. Fought well, Desiree. I, however, should have known to expect the traitor's attack. I was careless and put you in danger. It will not happen again. It appears that Karasu has taken an interest in you, and I fear this complicates matters some. Let's return to the docks. There's much I would tell you. Ambushed by Karasu? I'm simply glad you're safe. I would tell you a story of our past. A story of a traitor and why he must die at our hands. Growing up in the same village, I've known Karasu since we were both children. When we came of age, we began our training together under Master Jacke. From a young age, it was clear that Karasu possessed an innate talent for our art that few could rival. I spared no effort in my training, yet struggled to grasp techniques he would master effortlessly. In his own way, he possessed a mind singularly devoid of wasteful thoughts. A mind seemingly unclouded by concepts such as right or wrong, good or evil. Despite this, deep down, I always thought of him as a brother. All that changed on that fateful day, when Doman Castle fell to the Garleans. Someone had betrayed our homeland, sold our secrets to the enemy. Looking upon my friends as their bodies lay broken and bleeding, I saw a figure flee into the hills. It was Karasu. Were I younger, more naive, I might have pursued Karasu as he fled, in an attempt to reason with him. But it was clear that this man, this demon, was no longer one of us, if indeed he had ever been. Even Master Jacke did not survive his slaughter. Did Karasu bear him some grudge, or was it merely a student's ugly pride? For our master's fate was the grisliest of all. His body mangled, his once proud face shattered beyond all recognition. I once held out hope that if I crossed blades with Karasu in battle, that I might understand something of what it was that had made him do those horrible deeds. Yet each encounter only raises more questions. One thing is clear, however. Karasu could have killed us back at Full Falls had he seen fit, yet chose not to. It was as if he was testing us. Testing you. Needless to say, this does not change our mission. For his crimes against Doman, Karasu must pay with his life. And yet, his thorough knowledge of us and our art has put Tsubame and I at a great disadvantage. But you, Desiree, your thoughts, your movements are unfamiliar to him. Yes, your presence might just serve to break his focus and afford us an opening. Yet to accomplish this, you must become stronger still. Promise me that you will not let up in your training. And that is enough for one episode for the ninja. Until, I guess next time. I'm Mace, and don't get lost.